This is the Tombow dual brush pen. Now these are one of the most popular brush pens, especially for beginners, and there's lots of good reasons for that. There's some really great colors, and they're just really nice pen overall. These are felt tip brush pens. Again, the shape of them is pretty triangular, so it's fairly pointy at the end, and they are on the larger end of the brush pen size spectrum. A lot of people have trouble with these if you're heavy-handed because they are fairly flexible. Sometimes the flexibility depends on the color, which is kind of interesting and sometimes a little bit annoying, but I know that we're not the only ones who have found that. Other people have said that as well. So you might find that certain colors work better than others. Not really sure why. They're water-based, and so they're superb for blending. You'll see lots of really pretty blends on Instagram, and there's actually a colorless blender that comes with these pens to make blending even easier. So they had 96 colors for the longest time, but then they recently added, I believe it's 12 more. So that makes 108 colors, and one of them is actually just the colorless blender. Just a few other notes. So the reason that they're called Tombow dual brush pens is because they have two ends to them. So they have this brush tip, and then on the other side, it's a bullet tip. Now this is just like a fine line. You can't change the size of the stroke of these by varying the pressure like you can on the brush tip. So it's really nice that they have a bullet tip in the same color. So it's the exact same color of ink that you'll get in the brush tip. Now, one thing I will caution you is if you take off the cap of your pen, sometimes if you put it on the end, the little cap gets stuck in here, so just be careful of that. And they say on their website that you can store these horizontally upright, vertically upright like this. Lots of other brush pens you're supposed to store horizontally, but these have some special pressurized ink, and the stand that comes with these, if you buy the full set, actually has them standing upright. So let's look at some of the colors. So one of the great things about Tombows is that they come in sets of brush pens. So this, for example, is the Galaxy palette. So they chose, half of them are missing, but they chose colors that go well together for creating a galaxy kind of effect. They also have a bright palette and pastel and neutrals, and so lots of different sets if you're not ready to buy the entire 96 or 108 set. So let's take a look at some of these colors really quick. So this blue. Another note about these is they're pretty squeaky when you write. So this paper that I'm using is actually really smooth, so they're not as squeaky as if you used it on some different paper, but sometimes that sound annoys people. And then of course the other end is the same exact ink color with the bullet tip. So this would be great if you want to combine different styles of lettering, like maybe you want to do some capital and script together. There's also some great colors of gray for making shadows on your letters. So here's one of the grays. There's a few different options of grays that come in warm and cool tones, lighter and darker. And then what I wanted to show you was blending. So if we there's a couple different ways you can blend. I'll show you two really simple ways. So the first is if you take two different colors. We actually have a whole blending video tutorial on our YouTube channel if you want to watch that. But two different colors, and then you can take the colorless blender, which is just like no color to it, colorless, and you can blend them together in the middle. So they're water-based, which makes the blending really easy. Sometimes you have to get the color off before you keep going. And these are self-cleaning, so as you continue writing with them, they'll go back to the original color. So that's one easy way that you can do some blending. Another way is if you take a piece of plastic, I'm just using this case from the set, and draw with one color, then take your other color, Let's just use this blue and color in the ink. Then you can write with it and it will blend as you write. So it's starting off purple because blue and pink makes purple, and then as we keep going here, you'll see it gradually change back to the original color blue. So if you don't get it by the time you finish the word, just draw some lines and it'll go back to the original color. So that's the Tombow dual brush pen. They have lots of colors to choose from, and it's really nice that you get both the brush tip and the bullet tip, and then you can use them in really creative ways together along with your blending.